anybody's camera. What the heck?
I don't have anyone's camera either.
I am missing a Jaden and a Bright. So yes, I guess we have the spoiler list. We just don't have our collection filled in yet.
Magic pumpkins. I'm probably going to be spending a lot more time doing that over the next little while. Just doing it on like cockatrice.
What are we on about right now? I don't even know.
Magic jokes. Magic jokes.
They go over the coffee cat ears.
Talking about stuff like I said having the spoilers up for the collection but no images. And the diabolic tutor. And
yeah. Having some magic art thoughts and thonks.
And everyone knows that thoughts and thonks convert to stonks.
I actually invested in stocks this week because it pretty much crashed.
Yeah.
Last week even.
Yeah, no. Now is the for anyone out there. Now is the best time to invest in stocks.
Get them while they're
because
cheap.
everything is crashing. So you can pick up something that's really something that will jump up after the pandemic really cheap, and then once the all clear is given and the stocks jump prices, you can then sell off and make a massive profit.
Hand over
Play
fist.
the system, earn the money. You know what to do.
That's right. Y'all are a bunch of rules nerds out there. Read the rules of investing. You got this. I believe in you. But you know what? As interesting as actually, there are some Twitch streams that talk about like cryptocurrency and investment, and it's like a financial channel. We can simulate this of a sort here in our Dungeons and/or Dragons session, especially with y'all traveling around. I mean, you can pick up something in one port and maybe flip it over in another.
I mean, dragons might exist.
Dragons may exist in their proper form here. Well, I don't know anymore. You'll have to try and find another one, I suppose. So we have all y'all are scattered around Mesotopia. And really, I mean, 4 of you are still together, and then we have Jaden, who's still jamming out here at Mesomasca. Where we had left the party, you had just stopped on your week-long journey here aboard the Lilywellens Gamble at a port in Uct. And this is after a week of traveling. You ended up crafting, and Coffee, I'll get to you about the instrument. And
we were gonna do that in the off week, and he didn't.
Yeah, I know. Things happened, like me panicking about everything going on right now. So
I feel that. That's fine.
We're all in quarantine.
Yeah.
I'm not yet.
So yeah, we had stopped here, and I was I was proud to say that if any of you did wish to disembark in Uct, then there was a lovely, complete with the sounds of the jungle, the flora, the fauna, and even the merry weather of Uct while you're here. And then Jaden was back in Mesomasca, specifically in Mask of Horns, where I had a lot of fun doing the gambling. That turned out like super
yeah.
Joyful.
Jaden came away.
Yeah.
Yeah,
rich.
Jaden had a really lucrative night on the tables, and
yeah, they did.
Hand over fist.
Exactly. There you go.
This is the new Chroma Company salute. Like, if you're in, you gotta.
I keep bumping my mic. I hope I'm not making noise.
Nah.
Okay.
I keep hurting my hand.
Don't do that.
So we will we'll open proper here. You are in port. There is no need to remove yourself from the ship, as you will still be served meals. You can still walk the decks of the Lellywellens Gamble, especially on this nice, on the upper decks, where you had secured, inadvertently, but a nice cabin through Professor Cypherius when you were in the Dragon's Graveyard. Y'all can disembark and, go on a day tour, but Lellywellens Gamble is, or if you prefer Lellywellens Folly, you can, tour. You could just go hang out in the city. There are, you could eat interesting foods, or you just rest. But we're only here for 2 days optimally. So there's not necessarily, this isn't going to really count itself as a downtime activity, since that's measured more in like week increments. But if there's something that you want to note that you're doing, or you have a quick little interaction or role play, like Bright, I mean, this is your land. If you want to see if your cousin is in town or something, or something along those lines, we can do that. But there's not really going to be a big, you're not going to be able to craft a magic item here unless you stay behind from the ship. And hopefully they'll come back for you. But so crew, what do?
There.
So, one thing I did want to do is, speaking of crafting magical items, I did want to get on to doing that, but in Arct, it's more buying supplies. Looking for a metal rod in particular. An ornate metal rod.
Okay.
Looking for some, basically looking for some backbones in which I can then weave some magic.
Well, you are in luck, as Oct has a couple magic users that live in, on, around, above, maybe even below, and so finding implements, especially in a trading port town, wouldn't necessarily be a difficult thing. And if we're talking ornate, I mean, you could find ornate decorative items of some variety, though depending in the meta of the story and of the setting, what we are talking about mechanically isn't produced specifically, if that makes sense. As this type of magic is not a very well known one, or a ubiquitous one. In Octu,
Well, I mean, that's why I'm going for to get just the rod as the backbone, so that I can then add the magic myself. As that would require, communion with certain things, which you and I know about, to make that happen. But to make that happen in the first place, I have to have a backbone to put it in.
Sure.
And that's why I'm looking for the rod. The rod is the backbone, and then on the ship, as we're sailing to Fallfire, I'll be...
Okay, I mean, if you want a backbone, there's plenty of people. You could they all have one.
Not a literal spine.
Oh, alright.
Unfortunately, while Celine may have been a little bit down to take one of those from a cadaver and turn it into a staff, not so much for Cypher.
Oh, alright. Well, I guess the opportunity still abounds. It's just up to you to seize it. Or rip and tear.
As spinal column.
Then if you're looking for something that would be considered a metal rod, and I'm not just talking like whatever, like some scrap iron that was kind of twisted and bent, like it's decent enough, as this is a port city. There's a ship repair, that's some shipwright suppliers and construction and whatnot, so I'm not going to worry about a couple gold pieces or whatever here. You can find a metallic rod that you feel would serve as the basis of your teaching implement here. You're kind of you tap the chalkboard with it and get people's attention.
Yeah, tap the chalkboard.
Yeah, that's what we're going to call it.
Not shoot blasts of energy everywhere.
Totally.
But no, that's all I'm going to be particularly doing in our level stay in Arct.
Okay.
Unless someone else needs help with something.
Mordecai would probably want to try and find teleportation circle chalks to get at least another couple supplies of that.
Okay.
And offshoot some of his Shadowheart stuff if we can get rid of some of that.
Yeah, you could. I mean, you could find buyers for all sorts of things here. That wouldn't necessarily be a problem.
I don't know what I'm doing. Oh well. Really, that's all I'm looking for, aside from something to either enhance my own armor or to buy something different for my own armor. Let's find out what's here.
Okay. Let's. I will hold on to that thought. Let me find out what Casimir and Bright are doing first, and then we'll see about offloading these things. Casimir, what are you doing? Are you sitting pretty in port, or do you want to go into the jungle and hunt, or?
I haven't been to this country yet. I might want to see what creatures they have.
Okay. If you remember the end of our session last time, I'm sure you can come back with all sorts of buddies as trophies or just as parasites inside you. So have fun with that. But yes, Casimir's Jungle Adventure. All of you can entertain what that may be in a series of 4-panel comics in your minds. Since Casimir has 2 days in the jungle to go and hunt and learn and dance and play and etc. And then Bright, we're I wouldn't say this is like your stomping grounds, Oct, I guess broadly, but maybe not this port city. You've probably been here, or at least heard of it. It's not it's not an insignificant, like someone just built a dock and then every ship stops there. What would you like to do during these 2 days?
So, first question, do I have new...
Yes. Yeah, you would, because this is like the beginning of the new week going north. So this would be your next chunk of portents.
Okay.
All right.
They are. Right. And I assume that means new spells too. They're not going to really need that. Okay. So the
I'm not sure what it is, but Bright, you're cutting out real bad.
what's wrong with my voice?
Oh,
It's just super low volume right now.
it was a little bit low. I don't know if it was cutting out. It was a little low.
I haven't changed anything. It should be the same.
Oh, there we go.
There
Nope,
we go. That's better.
Yeah.
I don't know what that was all about.
There's a gremlin in the works.
Yeah, okay. We have those in Oct. They run free. Okay, so the next question I have, actually I have a bunch of things I want to do. First thing I want to do is get off the boat and look around, and I just want to talk to some gnomes. I mean, it's mostly gnomes in Oct, so
Yeah.
I shouldn't have a hard time finding some. But I just want to talk to them and try to figure out, if the flesh tree plague is here and if people are going missing.
Okay. So you're going to be asking around about the status of things. Similar to what you're doing in Green Shield.
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay. Then...
So I want to get some traditional gnomish food.
Oh,
'Cause
yes.
I've been missing that.
Mordecai is sad.
I would
He can't
probably combine those together.
Mordecai is sad he can't try gnomish food right now.
Try it. You might not succeed at it, but you can try it.
Yeah, you can always try.
Sure, that's what he'll do.
Oh.
One of the things he'll do is try gnomish food.
All right. Well, I mean, you'll find it'll be. I guess we could almost flavor it. What I'm getting, especially because there's uh, maybe not. It's not a gnome wide phenomena, but it would be almost like various Indian foods. Lots of vegetables. Even some exotic spices. So you can always try something very spicy. And if you recall, Bright has on occasion seasoned food with interesting secret herbs and spices. And so we can also say that this is a land that's rich in various tastes and textures. This is probably where the term mouthfeel would have been invented and then spread throughout the lands of Mesotopia. So all sorts of textures as well as they don't just see their food and here's a color and let's put colors together. This is like the four-dimensional chess of food. It's the size and it's the color and it's the texture as well. And it's a very very intriguing process here.
I'm
That's
still
completely
short
true.
too.
You probably won't be able to get over that here.
Bright, would you prefer the word high or the word low? I'm gonna use a Derek trick he taught me here.
Yeah, that seems like a really loaded question. But I guess since low is part of that answer, then I guess I have to go low.
All right. Oh.
Oh.
All right. So we have culture, we have food on the mind here, Bright, and as you are during the 2 days here, probably on the first because you're trying to make an itinerary, and also you have been talking with the chef aboard Lily Welland's Gamble,
True.
and
I haven't been friends with him yet, but I've been trying.
Yeah. The initial, I mean, he didn't kill you or poison you or throw you off the ship, so that's a start.
It's always a good thing. Because if it did, I'd have to kill it.
Okay, note to self: remember the fly spell.
However, as you're thinking of this, the thoughts of, the history of this ship and some of the clues that you're putting together, your mind turns over and you're thinking of gnomish food and locales, and as a way to communicate, there's a possibility you have a chef aboard a ship that once belonged to the Shadowhar, and while your knowledge of their history is not as expansive as Professor Cypherius's, you did have an interaction with some cuisine and culture of the Shadowhar when you were in Mask of Horns. Not that anyone would have recognized you at the time. But you do have a chef that may have some knowledge of these recipes, if you wish to inquire about that.
I don't necessarily know what I would do with that.
Well, similar to to gnomes and having various discussions or debates over food. It's something that culturally can connect people. You've sought gnomish food in various cities you've gone to for sustenance, but also, I mean, you might find other gnomes. You might learn what's going on in the, sort of in this gnomish network of information and families. You're looking for a way to communicate. Food is a medium for that. And while the chef clearly doesn't need food, it's an idea that came to mind.
Yeah, he might appreciate making some of his old recipes, even if he doesn't get to eat them. Yeah, maybe. Okay. Well, that wasn't really my priority right now.
Nope, I
So
understand.
I'll scroll that away for later, and yeah. So the things that I want are just to just to find out how things are going. You know, people are disappearing here too.
Okay. Um, in this city specifically, no. However, everyone is well aware that there are creatures that are lurking out in the jungles that are hunting. This is like a fairy tale that has come to life in a horrible way. There are creatures that are made of undulating flesh. There's mouths and eyes and claws that just seem to um, we'll say gnomes have invented the chocolate fountain, and so we'll say that the mouths and eyes and teeth and everything are like a
Of course,
chocolate
they've invented
fountain.
the chocolate fountain.
That, and then they just seem to like recycle at the bottom, and then like kind of come back down, and are constantly in this uh, quivering mass, and there's there's several different. What are they? Some are saying if you listen to what they say, you'll go mad. If you listen to what they say, you'll learn secrets. There's all kinds of theories about what they are, where they come from. Though it is known that they do seem to have a taste for gnomes, and so yeah, you're getting all kinds of stories regarding that. That no one's considering it a myth; they're considering it real. But there hasn't been an infestation of these things, at least here. And there are forces that are out patrolling, especially from the wizard school, and others that are going and at least making highways as safe as possible, and towns as safe as possible. It's just tough right now.
So, has anyone met anyone who has actually seen one of these and come back? Or is it just rumors?
You're getting rumors right now, or at least, oh yeah, like my cousin's best friend's roommate, etc. So it's very very anecdotal, but there's enough, I guess, consistencies in the anecdote that there may be some grains of truth you could pick out of it.
Okay. So, depending on how much time we have, I probably want to spend most of the day or the second day. Maybe Mordecai and Casimir would want to come with me to try and look for one of them.
No, Casimir is gonna want to run through the jungle.
Yeah, so
I have a new instrument to test.
okay. So I would be happy to go with Casimir, although I'm probably not going to be much help with hunting because I don't really do that, and I tried to help Mordecai once and it didn't really work. So I'll probably when he needs to do that, I'll probably just go behind a tree. But the rest of the time, maybe we can go together and we can look for one of those things.
Fortunately, in Uct, for the most part, because everything is also so damp and wet, if you do end up needing to employ your fiery skills, there's probably not going to be a ton of collateral damage because it'll be tough to set things on fire this way. You'd have to really try, and a straight fireball won't necessarily count.
Yeah, that's good to know.
Okay. So there is you can go out. I guess Casimir, you can lead a hunting party then. It's not quite like the dream, but that's probably a good thing. And then Mordecai, you can test out your instrument. Casimir, you can test out your hunter skills in this new biome. And Bright, you can go searching and just sort of traipse around the trees, and there's all kinds of critters and things that you can talk to. This is going to lead Professor Cypher to talk to people, obtain a metal rod, and that's fine because that's exactly what he wanted to do.
Am I able to get teleportation circle ingredients?
As yes, you can buy those here. So if those come out of whatever funds are available, well, I'm not worried about the minutia of a metal rod. This is more of a major component.
Yeah,
I don't think they're it's terribly.
it's like 50 gold. I
Okay,
think.
yeah. So it's not insignificant, but yeah, you can find some of these exotic chalks.
Yes, it is 50 gold, so I'm gonna get 2 more sets of that. If that's okay with everybody, that I spend 100 gold on that.
Nice.
Alright. Cool beans. I got that.
All right.
I'm leaving all of my Shadowheart stuff with Cypher in case he wants to study it.
Oh,
I shall do some study.
he is a scholar in such things.
You have a military uniform, an old etched short bow, a present-day short sword, and light crossbow to look over.
Ooh. Okay. Interesting.
I'm wearing my Shadowheart armor
Okay.
because it's better than my original one.
Well, wearing that around won't necessarily just get you, nuked on sight with the.
I wear clothes on top of it anyway.
Not to mention he's customized the armor to be more Mordecai.
Mordecai.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. All right. Then you all go out and do this. Casimir, as you're going to lead an expeditionary force on a hunt. And let me check real quick because some of you are floating some ones already. Mordecai, Cypher, and the DM all have +1s floating from Fickle God's Favor, so thank you all for that. Casimir, you can roll a survival at advantage as you have some help, and it's kind of your jam here.
17.
17. Okay. And then
also as a note, Natural Explorer is for forest as well.
This would count. What is a jungle if not a forest of some kind? A rainforest, even.
A very wet forest.
And let's see. We have a 17. Go ahead and roll a percentile.
$41.
Okay.
Just consult the wild surge chart.
Rumors of that are also around, but it hasn't seemed to manifest. But you are, by the way, you all are given caution. The further north you go, the more you got to watch out for that. All right, and then Casimir, I would like you to make another survival, please. Oh, 21.
17.
Well, no, this is at advantage as well.
21 then.
All right. Fine, you drive a hard bargain. And then I would like you to make one more percentile roll.
$85.
85. All right. So on the second day, you all went out into the jungle. You were exploring around. You were, seeing signs of this and that's around. No creepy flesh goops. On the second day, however, Casimir, you do find some interesting, not even tracks, but you're seeing evidence that something had been around, and following it, you are in fact going to find a thing. You have not seen a thing like this, Casimir. This is certainly not a natural monster.
That is the thing.
That said,
similar to the flesh tree.
Yes, it
If
is.
so, I'm gonna play counter charm.
This is a. This does not fall in your professional capacities as a hunter of undead or fey. This is something that is quite aberrant from those two other types of monsters.
Did
Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. And what you see is it does look like just this ever recycling lump of flesh and teeth and eyes. And what I would like each of you to do is to roll a stealth individually. However, I'm not going to be... it won't necessarily be a matter of the weakest link here.
As a note, I have scale mail.
Okay.
Don't remember if that's a disadvantage.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah. 12.
Okay.
okay, least
we have
stealthy ranger ever.
You don't need stealth in the desert. You just run at it.
yeah, there's not too much hiding, I guess. They'll see you coming from a mile away.
The desert is empty.
And then I just need one from Dear Miss Bright.
Okay. So I'm walking through the jungle and I see a stick and I'm just about to step on it. And then suddenly I'm not stepping on it. I rewind just a little bit and there's a nice flat spot right next to it. So that's a 22.
Hey.
Hey.
Yeah, Bright just blends in with the jungle despite her her native coloration.
Yeah, so it's, I mean, most creatures are actually adapted to the environment that they're in. But if you look around, you'll see there's a lot of pink flowers. And, you know, we just kind of blend in.
Mm-hmm. Just makes sense.
Yeah. Just hide right behind this flesh tree. We're the same color.
All right. So you see this thing, and while it does seem to have a multitude of eyes and mouths and perhaps other sensory organs that are well, presumably sensory organs, but I got to keep the stream PG-13 here. You're able to go undetected. It hasn't. I mean, to say it turns around would be weird because it doesn't really have a front. Every place could be on this thing, but it otherwise seems distracted as you see the remains of some kind of a jungle creature. We'll say some sort of like a dire squirrel that is like being drawn into one of the mouths. So it seems to be concentrated, and you just see like this thing is kind of slurp, slurp, and it's disappearing bit by bit. So it just found a meal, and it's eating it. However, it's not chewing or crunching. It's just like absorbing this thing. But
like
you
snake,
all...
it just opens maw.
Yeah, it just... Yep. It just seems to process it.
So how did it bring it to, did it use like a tentacle, or did it just like magically do it, or what was the deal there?
Unfortunately, you didn't get to see that part. You just stumbled across it already consuming this thing.
Like snake, just mouth goes up, swallow.
Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and cast a mage armor.
Would you... I mean, besides the buffs, which, you know, could come in handy, do you want to observe? Do you want to leap out and strike this thing? What would you like to do? You found one, it hasn't seen you.
Yeah, leaping out and striking isn't really my style. So, Mordecai or Casimir, does it look like anything you've seen before? And for me, how much does it resemble the flesh tree? Like, does it have the pinkness to it, or is it just like a mound of flesh, like a big, little lump of halfway rotted steak, or what is it? What does it really look like?
It is a mound of muscle and skin from variety of from a variety of gnomes here. You are seeing like faces that kind of like blurb up, and then almost like a bubble. They don't really pop, but the mouth opens so wide that that this face just sort of, I guess, turns like back inside itself, and goes back, and then another one will like yawn open, and then kind of like get sucked back in. So you are seeing some faces. It doesn't look like a tree necessarily. I mean, this would be more like a I guess if you have an awakened tree, you have an awakened shrub. It would be more like the shrub. It's smaller. It has this like cycling, blurbing kind of flesh. It's not like fly ridden and gross. Like it's meat. It does seem to be like living muscle and tissue, and hair patches and things like this. It seems to be alive. It's just not in a a state of, well, sameness like you. You actually can keep your insides contained. This thing seems to have to try as to manually contain itself.
Oh, so it has inside out syndrome. Okay. Hey Mordecai, did you bring like bring Lorelei?
Was that the one who had?
Oh, I mean
everything?
her bones.
I don't have that on my character sheet, but if I'm supposed to have those, I'll have them.
Okay, so
I think so. I think they were in Celine's.
Celine's stuff.
Inventory.
Okay, then yeah, I'll have
Okay.
Lorelai's bones.
Well, okay, we might have to talk about that later.
okay.
I'll just note that on my character sheet now.
Okay. So could you? I know there was one bone that I had already worked with. So could you maybe give me that one?
There you are.
Okay, thanks. I'm gonna need this. And probably Casimir doesn't need one because you don't really do like direct damage. So you're probably gonna be okay. But Mordecai, I know you haven't really had time to practice with Norlei's bones. But you do have a new.
Weird.
Yeah, it's super weird. But we have to do the things we have to do.
It's true.
And I mean, we don't have her anymore, but I don't know. It's just, I don't know. Saving living people is more important than honoring dead ones. So, anyway, now that I have this, I can probably, like, my spells will probably work on it. But what about you? I mean, I don't want it to just be me.
Right. I can try something.
Okay.
So Maddie, since we didn't decide what was in my violin, are we deciding that now?
See what happens when you don't do it.
Or should I try something different that's already on my spell list?
Your DM would appreciate that one.
All right. Then I'm gonna use it as the implement by which I slash and creative guiding bolt. And I'm just gonna shoot it as a level 1. See what happens.
Okay. Nothing happens. I mean, something happens, but it doesn't. This is not affecting. It seems to have no effect on the creature.
Even though
Generally
I'm
going
using
with X.
Norlei's bone as an implement for it.
You are?
Yes, I have more of them. There's more than one.
I thought it was just Bright that had gone through like an attunement to him.
Yeah, Mordecai, I don't think you had attuned to it, had you?
Oh no, I guess not.
Yeah.
You can always throw a bone at the thing.
I
That's
would
not how
have
they
if
work.
that was something that I thought I would need to do.
Yeah.
That was not explained to me.
Yeah, I probably should have mentioned this, I guess.
Oh well, let's hope this
This is
doesn't turn into
definitely
an
something
oopsie doodle.
we should have discussed at the
The
ship.
Maybe I should just hit with that.
No,
So
do not get close.
what we'll do is we're going to have an impromptu, I guess, an impromptu combat with this thing. As the magic does strike this creature, it seems to have no effect on it. However, again, I can't even describe it turning around. It's just,
Just notices
the
us.
last bit of the squirrel, I guess, faces you before it's sucked into this thing. And then, so go ahead and all y'all can make an initiative here, and we're gonna see what happens.
Well, what? All right.
Okay. So Bright, the last of the squirrel is pulled into this thing, and what would you like to do? Is you're gonna be going first, and then I get to do something.
Okay. So the first thing I'm going to say is to everyone, don't get too close because it can, it'll put the whammy on you. And then the next thing I'm going to do is cast a fireball at it.
Okay.
This will just be the ordinary fireball. Nice ordinary level 3.
Okay.
Just to start off.
You all are. I'm gonna say that
Of course,
when you
I'm
found this,
using Normalized Bone, of course.
Yes.
That's my focus.
In the undergrowth, you would come across it, and it's 10 feet away. Of course, you can aim your fireball, so it's caught on the far side of it. So you are using Normalized Bone, so I will necessitate a percentile roll as well. That's going to come along with this.
That's fine. I'm going to want to move back as far away from it as I can get, though.
Okay, so you're 35 feet away from it then.
All right, and now E7.
All
I don't
right.
know what that is.
That is 1d6 flumps controlled by the DM appear in unoccupied spaces within 60 feet of you and are frightened of you. They vanish after 1 minute. So go ahead and roll a d6.
Okay, I don't trust them.
4. All right. So a fireball does go off, and I need to make a dex save. Okay. So it does have fire does scorch across it, but it does char the flesh, but the flesh is sort of like whatever, it cycles and it looks renewed, but you did see that it did leave a char on this thing as it screams from several mouths. Then for
I need to roll. Oh, never mind.
As this is like an extension of the user in a sense. 4 like gelatinous, like jellyfish looking brights manifest. So they're almost just like big gnome heads with like floofs as tendrils coming down, kind of arrive on the scene. They manifest these gelatinous brights. And they look at Bright Prime, and they give a horrible, like, scream. And their floofy tendrils all kind of, like, go up in the air, and they start running through the jungle like E.T.
And I'm probably going to make about the same noise when I see them.
All right, so it is... it is this thing's turn here. And it is going to surge forward, and let's see. We have Bright who dashed back here, so I guess we have Casimir and Mordecai. So I'm gonna roll. I'm gonna roll a d20 on 1 through 10. It's Kaz. 11 through 20. It's Mordecai. All right, Mordecai. This thing rushes towards you and is going to make an attack.
So are we counting this as we're level 12 or not? Because that determines some things.
Especially for me.
Sure.
Sentinel.
Yeah, I didn't prepare my character sheet for level up yet.
It's okay. I didn't prepare for you to go
did.
hunting and encounter something like this. So it's
I did. Because that's what I do.
Matty,
yes.
years of dealing with murder hobos. How do you not be prepared?
I guess I just have to have my faith in humanity shattered once more, and I presume a 24 is going to hit you, Mordecai.
Yes, it will.
Okay. Without actually, it doesn't even need to. It doesn't even need to lunge forward here, as it is. It shoots out like a tendril, but it's made up of muscle and skin and hair, and it lashes you here, and is going to. Deal some. Oh, all right. It's going to deal 21 magic slashing damage.
All right.
And
Well-
I would also like you to make a charisma saving throw.
I have to determine. Okay, well, okay. Hang on. I'm gonna do this from my current HP because I did not upload my HP for this level. All right, and then charisma saving throw.
Please. Okay. And so this.
Hellish rebuke.
Oh, all right.
Ooh, a hellish rebuke. I even forgot
Probably
you
the
had
first
that.
time I've used this, and I'm a tiefling.
Yeah, you're usually so nice. You hardly ever rebuke anyone.
I know.
Which is really weird considering you're dead, which implies you've been hit before.
Yes.
All right, so it will take half this.
And then
Right.
I would also like to use my reaction to activate my Sentinel feat,
okay.
which means I get a melee attack.
Do you have a reach weapon? As it was 10 feet away from you.
From me?
Yes.
Oh, I thought that was standing next. This is what happens when we don't have maps.
That's fine. We'll have to use the theater of the mind for right now. Because again, I wasn't prepared to have a tactical map for something like this.
I assumed I was next to Mordecai, but I guess.
You are going to be well, yeah, you can stand next to Mordecai. But I mean,
Probably next
all
to
of
me,
you
but
were
10 feet
10 feet away from the thing here. Okay, so
is it reaching?
huh?
Yeah, it reaches. I
Yeah,
guess.
it shot out a pulpy tendril, and it's going to do so
Noted.
again too because I have the chance.
Okay. Never mind then. I won't be able to attack.
Okay, and so a 13, you're able to dexterously avoid the second tendril. Am I correct, Mordecai?
What? 13 does not hit.
Okay. Now,
Sorry,
when
gotta
the
recalculate
first
my
one did hit you, all throughout your body, you felt a well, when you drink from someone, you take on properties of that person, and so that causes bodily manifestations. As you're absorbing them for a little bit, and so your body mimics that. When this thing hit you with its claw, this seemed like you got a jarring form of this feeling that your body was being inflicted with a change of some kind.
Oh no.
However, you're able to hold yourself together. That being said, it is now Casimir's turn.
I'm before Casimir, ain't I?
Oh wait, no, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I was just we were talking about the positioning and not the initiative. So
Initial
yes,
order, yeah.
sorry about that. It does, yeah. It goes Bright, me, then Mordecai, then Casimir.
All right.
You want to bite it?
Maybe.
Got you. You can bite it. Okay, that's all. I don't have time to say more.
Yeah.
Would you let me do a bite attack with dexterity?
um,
Or is this a strength? Because I have no strength.
this if you want to do it off of Dex, that's fine.
Alright. Launch. I rolled it as a d4, so I don't know if that's going to do anything.
All right. So you run up to this thing. You go to sink your fangs into it here, and your fangs, hitting this thing. It's a hit, but it's not like a damaging hit. You have not met the number that I'm looking for the damage. However,
I wouldn't have done a d4.
I need you to. I do need you to make a charisma saving throw.
Alright.
And okay, you are.
Force of personality.
You are all up on this thing, and once more, this kind of. You go to bite it, but it's almost like the flesh, like two giant pores open up where your fangs would have sunk in, and then when you retract, it kind of slurps close again. But in your contact with this thing, you feel that destabilizing force once more. But you're able to hold yourself together, so that's good. Anything else from you, Mordecai?
I don't really have anything to do with my bonus action right now.
Okay. Then it would go to Casimir. Casimir, you're 10 feet away. Mordecai is up on this thing. Bright is 35 feet away from the monster. What are you doing?
Alright, I'm going to step up and attack this thing because I wasn't close enough before.
Okay.
One sec.
Well, Casimir, it has its effect on gnomes and elves. Mordecai's a tiefling vampire thing, so he's probably immune, but I don't know that you would be. But if you're not, I have something prepared.
Firstly, I'm going to Hunter's Market.
Mm-hmm. The Hunter's Mark does not manifest.
Does not? Alright. That's alright. Alright,
Good.
I'm going to come and hit it.
Did
Sure.
my Hellish Rebuke hit? It took half damage.
Oh,
from that,
shoot.
didn't
So your Hellish Rebuke then would not have. I'm sorry. Good observation. I know it bonked you on that for your damage, but your Hellish Rebuke would not have affected it.
it? Okay.
Alright, I'm just going to come hit it with this. It has taken damage, so I get Colossus Slayer as well.
Okay. So you go to hit it with your battle axe, and as it's coming down, the flesh almost like cleaves in front of your axe, and it swipes through where it was, and then the flesh just kind of goes back together. So it's a miss mechanically, but this is all this roiling mass of mouths and things. Seems
Alright.
to
Well,
very
I do
tough.
have my extra attack. So
Yep.
one more time.
Okay.
It's 18 hit.
Yes. So this time, as you had it like peel this way, and it's kind of going, it's like trying to come back together vertically. You come around with a horizontal, and it can't seem to then also peel itself horizontally, because then it would detach that upper quadrant.
And then the Colossus Slayer damage will add on to that one then.
Okay.
And that is my turn.
Okay. Bright, we come back to you. Mordecai tried to bite it. Casimir's up on this thing. What would you like to do?
Okay, so I'm going to aim another fireball so that it hits the blorp.
Okay.
It's a
Good
blorp.
as name as anything.
So blurp.
It's a blorp. There are blorps in my game too. Okay. So that it hits the blorp, but not Casimir or Mordecai. And this is going to go ahead and be a fireball at level 4.
Okay. Okay.
Oh, you made your save.
I did.
Well,
And so this is your fireball goes off, and it seems to be able to almost impossibly like flatten itself to allow the fire to roll over. Mechanically, as it would have taken half damage, it is going to take no damage instead. But that's how I'm describing it. It's just sort of like impossibly flattens itself at the last moment, such that it takes nothing. Okay. I now have some targets that I can do something to. Mordecai, you didn't end up doing anything here, so I'm gonna try and attack Casimir. Does a 17 hit you, Casimir?
cutting
does
words.
not.
Or if it doesn't hit, then it doesn't hit. I'm not going to use cutting words then.
Okay. Whoop. There we go. Okay. Two of these tendrils lash out, Casimir, and you're able to parry them or do like a little pirouette twist,
Shield.
letting the momentum. Oh yeah, there we go. Your shield, the just kind of spanks off the metal, and it is now Mordecai's turn.
All right. I am not having a good time hitting this thing because I only do one weapon attack. If I do a weapon attack,
Guess you should have been a Valor Bard. It's okay. A Valor Bard and Mordecai would have been kind of a weird combo.
what do I even do? What do I even try? I have an interesting thought.
Hmm.
I want to stab this thing with the Corpus Creeper dagger I have.
Sure.
Oh, that's a cool
Schwank.
idea.
Okay.
Really good idea. See what happens.
So you stab it. Certainly, the dagger that has that little spring mechanism. You implant the dagger in. You click the button, and you do feel that kind of that mechanical recoil, and the seed is presumably planted with this thing.
And then I back away.
Okay.
Let it take its course. If it's gonna take its course.
We'll see what happens. No time to experiment like the present. All right, Casimir. Mordecai shanked this thing with a dagger, and what are you doing?
It's my turn then? Oh, that's fast. I'm going to attack.
Hit.
Hit. Then I get Colossus Slayer and extra attack.
Okay, that one will miss.
Oh,
Sad.
Aw, sad day.
It's trying to
So-
adapt to your tactics here.
I do not have a bonus action at this time.
Okay, then we're back up to Bright.
okay. I have a whole bunch of questions.
Sure.
The first question is for the DM. Are Mordecai and Casimir both on the same side of the creature?
Yeah, this is this would be a large, mechanically a large creature, and so they're both in the two squares next to each other on one of the sides.
Okay. The second question is for Mordecai. How long is it gonna take for it to take effect?
I don't know. It's
Hey.
supposed to rot dead flesh fairly quickly.
Okay. Well then, in that case, I'm gonna go ahead and use a wall of force, and I'm gonna englobe the blurb.
Okay. Go ahead and roll a percentile with this, as I'm presuming you're using a
course.
bone. And on a 29, what happens? You teleport up to 60 feet into an unoccupied space of your choice that you can see.
I'm gonna teleport up into a tree,
Sure, okay.
just cause.
Just get out of it. Yeah, get out.
No, I just kind of want to be up in a tree. That's all.
There's that too.
Okay.
If I need to dimension or Casimir into a tree, I will too.
Then... alright, you encapsulate this thing, and you're up in a tree. Its turn, it is pressing against the wall of force.
Mine.
But it kind of you kind of squish it. It's almost like you put like one of these capsules around it, and so you just have like it's just like pressing up against it, and it's kind of like all the faces like squish and lick and gnaw, but it does seem to be contained.
It's not paper.
It's not paper though. So it is, unless it does any cool tricks, which it's its turn, and it doesn't seem to have a cool trick for this. You have up to 10 minutes of this thing contained inside this wall of force. What's the party doing?
Watch to see what happens.
I'm happy to wait for it, Mordecai. If you need to heal yourself,
Yeah, that's probably a good idea.
you could do that. Casimir, if you want to summon things, you might be able to do that.
Anyone else need anything? You guys didn't get bopped, really, did you?
I didn't take a hit yet, so
Uh,
I'm okay.
I'm gonna cast a level 2 on myself.
Casimir, if you do summon creatures, flying in this environment is not going to be really feasible because of how thick the plant life is. But if there's various climbing or crawling creatures you want to summon, then that would be you'd be able to get more use out of them.
I could summon my derpy snake.
Yeah, Derpy Snake could work in the jungle. That snake put in work in that boss fight.
He did.
Don't the animals only last like a minute though?
An hour.
Hour. Okay.
I might wait until it's like about.
I'm just waiting for it to melt.
You you do not see any changes over the course of a couple minutes. This thing continues to churn and try to bite and squish against the force cage.
Oh, it's worth a shot. Thought it was. Yeah.
Information's information.
Oh, I don't have any more Corpus Creeper seeds.
Yeah, I mean now we know. So
I have to get more of those at some point.
yeah, we'll just
Well, maybe. No,
Maybe-
I don't think I need it.
maybe we can. Yeah, I don't know.
I have a
don't know
new
where they
trick
come-
actually. That might be
Oh,
effective
good.
against vampires. And I kind of out of nowhere just produce a sacred flame.
All right.
Oh,
Are you setting up like when we get to the end here, because it'll end on Bright's turn and then it will go. Are you wanting to set up a reaction for when the magic spell fails to contain? So you strike it or something, or do you want to run away, or what do you want to do in this instance? As time passes and Bright is going to say, I can't hold it much longer. The containment field is, or some other dramatic.
My own magic isn't gonna work against it, so
Yeah.
yeah.
I got nothing.
At most, you might be able to hit it with a dagger, but you could get to a safer position. You could get away and focus on buffs, and then Casimir can be up front with his little snake.
Speaking of buffs, when it gets closer to when the bubble's gonna go down, then I'm gonna cast heroism on Bright.
Oh, okay. I appreciate that.
Is
That
that
means
touch or ranged? Because Bright's up in a tree right now.
Touch. I would have to get up there and touch. Bonk.
Okay.
That's what I would do.
trees
Just
are
go.
the trees here are going to be fairly easy to climb, even though you're not the most athletic. You know, but you can use some vines and
Acrobatic.
things and kind of shimmy your way up there and instill heroism in Bright.
And I'll reach down to you. It'll be like, it'll be like the Sistine Chapel.
Yeah, heroism. You now get.
Have the text? I don't.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
there
got
you
it.
go. Okay.
Yep. So you get 4 temporary hit points every turn,
Well, that's pretty cool.
because that's my charisma modifier.
Okay, and they just keep piling up.
Yep, keep piling up.
Hmm.
Do they pile?
Right.
I didn't think that they stacked.
Don't they? It's per turn. Unless she gets hit, the temporary hit points don't go away.
Temporary hit points with that, it's at the start of each of your turns, so if you've lost any, you gain.
Oh, you cut out.
And
If
nobody.
you,
So the way heroism works is, yeah, temporary hit points don't stack unless they specifically say that they
Yeah.
do.
Wait, but it's
so what'll
from a
happen
single
is,
source.
so
Yeah,
what'll
it's
happen is,
per turn.
as far as I'm aware, it's you get in Mordecai's case,
Yeah.
charisma modifier, temporary hit points, and then at the start of your turn, if you've lost any, you'll go back up to
Yeah.
5. I'm getting
4.
4 or whatever your
Yeah, yeah.
charisma.
Okay.
4.
Yeah. Okay. There's a ruling from Jeremy Crawford that they don't stack, so that's fine.
Okay.
Okay.
But
Four
it's
I have the
you know
I have the 4 hit points.
DR4. Yeah.
Okay.
So the containment field's going to go down. Casimir, are you lined up to do anything when the bubble pops?
I'm just quickly looking at Beast because that thing has a +10 hit modifier, so I want something defensive.
Yep. It can inflict some damage.
So I'm just looking at the.
I'm really sad I can't hit it. I want to be able to hit it.
Who's going?
It'll go down on my turn unless there's a reason for it to go down on someone else's.
Yep.
Probably will actually drop it on Mordecai's turn, the last turn before it can time out, and that way you two can both do whatever you need to do before it can act.
Mm-hmm. Cool.
That way we get the maximum amount of actions.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll drop it on Mordecai's turn whenever it's the last turn.
I'm gonna prepare a rapier attack.
Okay, so you're going to stay on it. Casimir, you're going to stay on it. Do you have an animal summoned, or are we...
Sorry, I'm looking. I'm going to summon to probably a pack of wolves.
Okay.
Because then I could just get a bunch of attacks in. +4.
Okay.
Yeah.
You have that loaded in, so we're going through the mechanics here. Some time is going to pass. You have summoned wolves. You have discussed. I mean, you have 10 minutes to. Okay, so I'm going to do this. Let's set up, and then Mordecai, you work with Bright. Like 3, 2, 1, drop it. Bright drops it, and so we're going to have 3 reactions go off. However, the PCs are going to get priority. So Mordecai and Casimir.
And I can't have a reaction, unfortunately, because I'm concentrating on the spell. So the only reaction I could have would be like a melee attack, which I'm not going to do.
All right. So I'm going to swipe at it.
Yep.
I am
Okay.
the worst. I have magic for a reason.
Okay. You go to poke it with your rapier, and a tongue darts out and sort of like deflects your rapier up, and then it goes back in into one of the mouths. Actually, it probably like retreats into another mouth. It just sort of like curves around and crawls into another mouth, and then both mouths just kind of like retreat back into the mass. Casimir, you had a strike prepared?
Yes. Was never mind. That wasn't an attack, that was him feeling. Yes, I will attack. My page will go up.
Hmm?
21.
Yep.
Colossus Slayer damage. And
Okay.
then extra attack. And I do
I
not have a
Don't know if you
bonus.
get an extra attack if you have a held action.
No.
Uh,
Oh.
You
it-
can't,
I-
no,
only when you
Ignore
take,
that then.
it's
you
only when
can't,
you
you
take
can't
the,
extra attack a hold
Yeah.
action.
yeah. No, it's only when you take the
But
attack
you'll get-
action on your turn.
Ignore that then.
You'll get your regular attacks before it can take another turn, so yay.
Yeah.
okay. And then I am going to.
Would my wolves be allowed to?
They can, though you see that the wolves are not able to interact with this creature.
Because they're magically conjured, that's why.
Interesting. I wouldn't have expected that.
Does a
Okay.
22 hit you, Casimir?
Yes.
Okay. Then
Wait, I'm not cutting words that.
you already used a reaction.
Oh, yeah, I did, huh? Never mind.
That's what a held act. No, wait. Yeah, held
Held
action
ac-
uses your
Yeah.
reaction. Yeah.
Yeah, it
It
does.
does.
All right. So,
Well, but
and Casimir, I need you to make a charisma saving throw, please.
Yay.
You also take 12 magical slashing damage. And all right. Casimir, this thing strikes out at you, hits you, and where it struck you, there's a searing pain that starts radiating out from this wound. Like this tendril, like almost went out, and it is like it bit you almost. Or I don't know, it could have done something else. It could have just been fingernails instead of teeth. This thing's weird. Pain begins to radiate throughout your body, and where you see the punctures, very quickly, your body begins to change, and you are your entire self becomes a spongy amorphous mass as you are becoming like this creature after it had attacked you. And so, Casimir, clothing, armor, and equipment are useless to you, as your body is in this semi-liquid state, and it just it falls through you and off of you to pile onto the jungle floor. Your speed is also reduced by 10 feet. You cannot cast spells or use magic items. And you are also going to be attacking blindly, unable to distinguish friend from foe. However, the caveat is that I'm the one who effectively, I changed it.
Is my battle axe considered magic?
Uh,
if it's a +1 weapon, yeah.
yeah, if it's a +1 weapon, it's a magical item.
Okay.
Yeah, it's talking about using magical items in terms of activating.
I think that
Ah,
means
yeah.
like activating items. It
Yeah,
doesn't mean
activating
in
items.
terms of swinging a weapon. Although you might not be able to swing a weapon either.
Correct. You're just you are a spongy.
At the moment, I'd rather not.
You are a
That's why I'm
spongy,
asking.
fleshy, naked savage right now in the jungle. As like holes kind of start opening and closing all over your body, and you are, you're still in a mostly Casimir form. It's just that your physical structure is altered, and we'll see what happens. So that was Mordecai, and this is going to then be Casimir. Casimir, I need you.
Was that my turn?
Oh, well, wait, hang on. It was dropped.
That-
Well, I
It
guess
was
it
a
would have been
reaction.
timed.
That was all reactions.
Yeah, Yeah.
That was reactions.
It was yeah, no, because you had said you timed it for Mordecai, but that was to set up for Mordecai's turn. So yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Mordecai, I'm sorry. It's you, and then it's Casimir.
Okay. I don't know if it's gonna work.
Okay, if you don't stand next to Casimir, I don't know. He might be on the monster's side now. I don't know. I can always do another wall of force, but now I don't know what to do.
I do have 8 wolves nearby that probably will end up being sponges for you guys.
I'm gonna back away from Casimir.
Okay.
And from a distance, I am going to cast Dispel Magic on him. And I am going to attempt to channel some things that I learned from Celine. So yeah, Dispel Magic. I'm just going to do that at a level 3, see if it works.
Dispel Magic appears to have no effect on Casimir.
Oh, well, butts.
As Casimir is still in this transformative state.
I don't know if Dispel would even work, because this isn't really a spell. It's just like the monster blorping ability.
The only thing I know how to do is magic.
No, it was a good try. But
I don't know how to restore that. I don't have anything like that.
Then, unless there's anything else, Casimir, I need you to roll a d8, please.
Roll 1d8. 1.
Okay. Casimir, this turn, you simply, your mind, you're thinking, it's very interesting. You can think several thoughts at once now. But you're just there, and just your body is you just see holes open and close. It's like being able to see your pores, just almost blink as you're just changing, as well. Casimir, your wisdom is reduced by 1.
Oh no.
And then we're going to come back up to Bright. Bright, Casimir is standing next to this thing, is looking a little bit more like it. What would you like to do?
Take care, Casimir. I don't have a way to do that. But you did ask what I'd like to do.
Oh well, no, that's fair. That's fair. All right. Good answer.
Mordecai, do you have any ideas?
No.
Okay, I'll cast another fireball. This will just be a level 3.
Okay.
Are you getting both of them? Or are you
are you wanting to
No.
mercy kill Casimir, or?
No.
Okay.
No, I don't want to do that. Yet.
All right. In fairness, Casimir didn't turn to you and say,
Yet.
"Kill me."
Did I say that? I'm sorry. I meant I don't want to do that at all.
Okay. It is able to flatten out and once more avoids taking any damage. I need a percentile also, please.
That's okay.
On a
Oh,
3.
That's not a good one.
For the next, not too bad. For the next minute, you can see any invisible creature if you have line of sight to it.
Oh, that's not the one I thought it was.
So, I don't know, you open your eyes after squinting for a second, but nothing seems to change.
Fireball is 7 and 8.
It is a low one, yeah, that's...
That's not the one I thought it was either. I thought it was, I thought it was the one where there's a wild surge all the time, but that's only 1 and 2.
All right.
Very close.
Mordecai, Tendril 1 is coming to you.
Cutting words.
Okay. What is your AC? If I min out,
14.
am I still gonna... It's 13?
14.
Oh, 14. Oof. Yeah, you just nuked that thing right back. No. You rolled a 6. You're gonna keep that 6. All right, so...
Exactly.
Tendril 2. is going to hit,
Oh, but all right.
and you are going to take. 1 second. What was that again? Ah, there it is. That was a. You're going to take 18 magical slashing damage, and I need you to make a charisma save.
Okay, I am hurting. All right, charisma save.
Okay. Once more, your body feels distorted, but you're able to compose yourself. I know I'm asking the bard to make a charisma save. How dare I? Okay. It is to you, Mordecai.
All right. Does this thing look hurt at all?
By normal standards, yes, it's full of gaping holes and juicy flesh is exposed. However, does it look like it has most
Does
of what
look
it
like
started
it's gonna
with?
Stop.
Nah, it looks pretty
No.
much like it did when you encountered it. It's, I mean, whatever. You still see like flecks of like charred flesh, or maybe some like some cuts that will like recycle back to the surface. But it's still there.
Okay. I am useless without magic. Okay. I am absolutely useless.
Can you do anything to save Casimir besides... I mean, I know you tried to spell.
I don't have anything else unless I could try a cure wounds. I'm gonna try a cure wounds. Why not?
Yeah, sure. It's worth a shot.
All right, here we go. Cure wounds. Let's do a level 1, just to see what happens.
Okay. Sure. You go and you touch Casimir. Casimir, you cure, right? You're restored 6 hit points. However, you're still a spongy, gibbering mass of still mostly Casimir.
I hate all of this. I hate all of this. I hate all of this. We're gonna lose someone again.
And Mordecai,
Don't say that.
you do not need to make a save, but your fingertips do tingle where you touched Casimir.
Okay.
Anything else, or is it Casimir's turn to roll a d8?
If he has any possibility of saving, I'm going to inspire him. I have nothing else. I am useless.
If you want to give a bardic
You can do
inspiration to
it.
Casimir, then you can.
Yes, I am giving him a bardic inspiration just in case he gets a saving throw
Sure.
from this.
Casimir, I would then like you to roll a d8.
Please do something that can do a saving throw. Something.
I mean, I can't save to save my life, so.
I gave you a
Alright.
D10.
Okay. Casimir, Mordecai comes up, cures you, inspires you. You take a look at Casimir, and I would like you to roll. I'd like you to roll a d8 again.
Me?
Yeah, you.
I am playing that violin, and I am trying to make it sound very good.
Casimir, you turn abruptly to your right, and you tear off into the jungle, screaming with a couple mouths now.
Oh no.
To go after him.
Yep.
So you use all your movement to run away. Now your movement was reduced by 10, so you only ran 25 feet.
Yeah.
Because your feet are kind of being held together in a foot-like shape simply by your boots. And you also lose another point of wisdom from your wisdom
Kai,
score.
do you have locate creature ready?
Yes.
Okay, I'll let you do that then. I have it too if we need it.
And then we go up to Bright.
Okay. Blorp is gonna get another wall of force englobing.
Okay. Blorp is once more encapsulated. Go ahead and roll a percentile.
Um. Ah, 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 8. Oh no.
Oh, you cast Fireball as a 3rd level spell centered on yourself.
Oh no!
Uh-oh.
Centered on yourself.
Yep, I blew myself up. It was bound to happen sooner or later.
Well, so yeah, I need
suppose
you
if
to
we're
make
all
a
close, maybe-
save against, I guess, your own 3rd level Fireball.
Do I also have to make a save? Am I close to her?
No, Bright, like was away. So,
Okay, so it looks like I failed.
yep.
Oh no!
You're setting the forest on fire as well.
I didn't fail that much. That's so sad. Okay, so the damage for that, oh, I guess I get to roll another fireball. Isn't that fun? 36. Whee!
All right.
Oh no!
Okay, well, it's reduced to 32 because
So you all get this very like SNES era RPG of, you have this cute little gnome who goes like black with 2 like wide blinking eyes that blink twice before the before the effect wears off, and
oh, that's unfortunate. Okay, so I'll roll my Constitution save.
might have another emoji lined up after that. All right, so yeah, you're gonna have to see if you can maintain your concentration,
Maintaining concentration.
and if the blorb is freed.
Oh
No,
no!
no, the blorb is freed. Okay. So the spell
That's
is
unfortunate.
the spell is used. Fireball finds its home in you, and the spell drops. This is now going to mean that Blorb can act, and Mordecai, I'm going to lash out at you.
Wait, I'm not close enough because she just exploded and I didn't save.
Bright is away from the creature.
I'm hiding up in a tree.
Oh yeah. That's
Yeah,
true.
remember you had to go. So
That's right. Wow.
15.
Cutting words.
Okay. I guess what? Not a 1. Okay. Yep. You cut into that attack. Number 2. Whoops. Why did I? That's not a D20. That is that was a D10. I need a 10.
D10 plus 10, that's not fair.
15 will hit.
Okay, you're going to take 16 magical slashing damage, and I need you to make a charisma save.
Oh no. Please pass.
Oh no!
Please pass.
Yes, please. Yes, please. Oh, please.
Don't have another portent. Oh no.
Uh-oh.
Do I have a +1?
Let me check. Yeah, Mordecai, Cypher, and I have a +1.
Does a 14 save?
Uh-oh.
Boy.
Oh no. No.
And so, Mordecai, your speed is reduced by 10 feet, and your body begins to turn spongy, and your body's changing against your expectations. As this thing has afflicted you.
Not a happy camper about this.
I wouldn't be either. Okay.
Why am I
Mordecai,
so
it's your turn.
useless?
I need you to roll a d8, please.
Biggity butts.
Um,
Oh no.
on a 7 or 8, the creature makes a melee attack against a randomly determined creature within its reach, or does nothing if it can't make such an attack. And so, as you're looking at the thing that made you here, unfortunately, Casimir isn't nearby because Casimir ran away. Although it doesn't say you don't get to move. And so, I guess Mordecai, you are going to chase after Casimir.
Casimir
And-
runs faster than I do.
Actually, no, I got slowed down.
Well, by 5 feet.
I
By
I-
Oh,
5
you got
feet.
slowed down too.
I got slowed down too, so I only go 20
Oh,
feet.
shoot. So I guess nothing is within a turn's reach. So you just you're gonna spend your turn watching your body start to
Couldn't he attack the creature?
amorphify. The creature is not going to be a viable target here, as this is the thing that made you. This is the thing that you are becoming.
It says random creature, doesn't it? You said random creature.
And you
Yeah.
said random.
Completely random.
Said
It
random.
didn't different. You did not differentiate hostile.
Right.
Random creature. I want to attack it. Let me attack it, please.
Okay. Go ahead.
So how do you want me to do this?
Attack.
Roll
Make
it with
a make
D20.
a bite attack.
Oh well, that's
Oh.
a 3.
Okay.
Oh well.
Rar.
You got your chance.
I got my chance. I'm gonna fight for all my chances, man. I'm not.
And you lose a point of wisdom, Mordecai, at the end of your turn.
Butts. Okay.
And Casimir, I need you to roll a d8, please. On a 5. You use all your movement to go in a randomly determined direction. So I guess is a
1d8.
2, 3. If it's a 5, a 5. You run right back to Mordecai. Because the 5 would have been directly behind you from the way you were facing.
At least Casimir came back.
Yeah.
Then I don't have to split up.
Okay, we go back up to Bright. Bright, Mordecai, and Casimir are... Oh, and by the way, Casimir, you lose another point of wisdom.
Figured.
Okay. So I'm gonna go ahead and cast another wall of force. This will be with a level 6 slot because that's what I got.
Okay,
Gonna go ahead and englobe that blorb.
okay.
Shall I roll to blow myself up again?
Please.
Oh,
Okay.
ah,
Let's not do. Oh goodness sake!
A
Okay.
3.
Oh,
Well,
I
if
can
if
still
there
stay
was any
invisible.
invisible creatures, you'd be seeing the heck out of them.
Isn't that interesting?
So I guess your eyes just kind of give a nice little sparkle. So there we go.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So it's englobed again.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna yell down, Mordecai, Casimir, change back. Please change back now. Okay, that's all. Okay, that's all I can do. I'm
All
gonna stay
right.
in this tree. It's safe up here.
Mordecai, roll a d8.
I'm not liking this. This does not feel fun.
All right. You are going to... The only creature you can attack is Casimir.
What about my wolves?
You wouldn't be concentrating.
Yeah, you're not able to
You're
concentrate
right.
on those things in your amorphous state.
Noted.
Which means your temp hit points are also gone bright.
Yeah, I figured. It's okay.
Well, I guess I'm gonna bite.
Rawr. Okay. Casimir's bit for 4 points.
I mean, I'm rolling a d4. I don't know how you want me to roll that. We never determined a dice for that.
I understand. 4 is fine. Casimir, if it means anything to you, you don't have to worry about vampirism right now. So there's that. Okay. And Mordecai, you lose a point of wisdom. Casimir, roll a d8.
Just-
One.
On a 1, you just stand there. So, Mordecai bit you, and you're like, I'm cool with this. And you lose a point of wisdom. We come back up to Bright.
There's not much I can do. not much I can do. I'm gonna go ahead and cast a firebolt at Casimir.
Okay.
I don't know if
That'll.
the right. Yeah, that's the right damage.
Okay. This is off of the bone implement.
No, this is just a regular one.
Pew. Okay. It impacts Casimir and 7 points of fire damage.
There's no. Oh, go ahead.
Nope, that's my blorb is contained, so I'm on lockdown. As per the monster.
Yeah, all I can do is try to wait this out. I mean I can't kill the monster by myself probably, and I'll just get eaten by those charisma saves. All I can do is hope they can get better. I don't see another choice.
Okay. Well then, let's go to Mordecai.
I'm going to ask a mechanics question. Is there
Sure.
a possibility to save from this?
No.
Then we're fucked.
Maybe. I don't know. Depends on anything that Bright might do. Since Bright is able to control herself and you're not.
But I don't know what to do, and they really can't give me ideas right now. Not in play fair.
Wizards don't have restorative magic, Matty. There's nothing she can do.
I am open
Yeah.
to ideas. But, I mean, you're correct. There's no restorative magic on a wizard.
I mean, unless you end up playing a Thurgist. But that's UA!
That's besides the point. Mechanically we can't do that.
Yeah, there is no one in the party that has anything that would even remotely be able to fix this. Aside, Bright nuking them to 0 hit points and maybe they revert a la some kind of polymorph. That's the only thing that I can think of.
Well, that's part of what I was thinking to shoot at Casimir. I was thinking that if I reduced him down to 0, he might come back like a polymorph, but I don't know. It's just something I was trying. I could try to kill the blurp, but I don't think I have the firepower for it. Me alone against it.
You've also used up your high-level spell slots, so...
The high level spell slots.
Oh, I've not all of them. I've got a level 3 and 2 level 4s.
I mean, if there's a way that I can get out there.
No,
'Cause,
there's
I mean-
not, because unless she sends a message to you.
Well, that
How
would
are
be
you
the
gonna
next
do in
thing that
2
I would
days?
do. That would be the next thing that I would be doing. But
Yeah.
I don't. So let me ask you this.
Okay.
Suppose, I mean, how far away are we from where the professor is? Could he get to us in a reasonable time frame? I didn't feel like we were that close, but maybe we are.
Well, as this was 2 days out in the jungle looking for these things, like the first day nothing had come up, so you had gone out into the jungle and were searching, and then on the way back you had found one. But as there were none of these things that were spotted close to town, where there are patrols or at least people to warn about what's happening, you would be. It's not like you're a 5-minute jog away from the city gate or anything.
Okay. Well, can I make an intelligence check or a survival check or something to know how far away we are?
I guess that would end up being survival.
Okay. I will roll a survival. I'm not very good at it.
There's a lot of twists and turns. Casimir can, was very good about taking you out into the jungle. That was his thing. It was very deft at getting you out and presumably getting you back. You're someplace far away. I mean, far could be 5 miles. It's not 500 miles or anything, but you're not certain.
I know enough to know to have direction Like if I were to say where, I guess probably not, because then I'd know how far, right?
I can travel. If I spend a spell slot and my Arcanum, I can travel 120 feet a turn for a minute.
Sure, but I don't know where to tell you to go. Is
Yeah.
that thing?
Yeah.
So
Anywhere but
travel
north, because
1,200
that's the
feet.
sea.
The only other thing is to knock us out. Hope it happens. If not, I'm calling bullshit.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna try knocking Casimir out. I mean, Casimir's the one that I targeted first, and I'm not gonna use the wild magic because I don't even really need to, because there's no material component
I should be back.
on a firebolt. It's just a verbal and somatic. So I'm gonna go ahead.
Just real quick, who has the most health? Me or Mort?
Um,
I'm at
I don't-
32 out of 75.
I don't
I'm
know.
at 80. So maybe target Mordecai, so you can damage him but still have stuff left over.
Ooh, and I mean, I don't feel like we're in a time crunch. So,
With my wisdom dropping, I feel like there is a little. Yeah, wisdom.
You are losing
Okay.
more and more of yourself as your wisdom is dropping. Yes.
well then I'll shoot Mordecai. That's fine. It doesn't seem like there's any other choice. So I'm gonna, I'll just start rolling firebolts. I don't want to use my remaining spell slots. I need them, I guess.
Those
Oh,
two will
that's-
put me down. Yep.
Okay, so it's 2 firebolts. We'll knock Mordecai out.
Yep.
We'll see what happens.
All right. Well. Hang on a moment.
Okay.
Oh, damn. I thought I'd come back to a critical fireball.
No. The wrong number was green. Not that it matters. So it knocked him out anyway.
So that automatically.
If she would have hit me in 2 rounds, it would have been before my wisdom hit 0.
No, I understand. Hang on, So the D8 doesn't proc that. Wisdom drops by 1. Okay. Hang on then. That's just for the wisdom. Okay, hang on. You can. So this is going to. It might still. I don't know. It might still come to this, but I actually will need. As I had not. I read it, but I misread the why something else is needed. Casimir, you can that would be 1, 2. You were 2, and then we had. Oh, thank you, power level. Casimir, you actually can. And I'll, Mordecai, you will be as well, but I got to go back to the first one who was afflicted. You can repeat its saving throw on your turn. So let's go before Bright took this option. You ran away, you ran back. So go ahead and roll 2 charisma
If
saves.
it helps, I lost a total of 4 wisdom. I was keeping track of.
This is a charisma saving throw.
No, I mean for how many turns passed?
Okay. Well, let's go back because we got to see. We got to see where this is. If this is, if you're still spongy. So just take it one at a time. Go ahead and roll.
And then I had a
You had a D10 from Mordecai.
inspiration.
That's 22.
If the inspiration still counts.
It's still a saving throw.
I don't see
Yeah.
any reason why it wouldn't.
Yeah.
But
He had it when the saving throw would have been made.
Yeah. Okay. So, we are going to have to go back in time. And,
this whole thing was just one possible horrible future that I saw. And then it...
Bright,
But
you
then I
are
was-
literally the worst.
I am. It's true.
Okay.
Then I blinked and shook it off. And they were okay.
Okay. So this is what I'm going to do here. And I mean, this is going to be talking to you all, but also I'm going to be talking to the audience here as well. In this circumstance, everyone, while I was running the monster, I did miss one of the mechanics. And as we had continued on with the presumption that there was a more specific circumstance for what was being presented outside of context clues and stuff that maybe not all of you who, if you've been watching this, might not be aware of the kind of thing that this could be or the properties of it. But this is a circumstance where I, as the dungeon master, did not read or interpret the mechanics of the monster in a very otherwise imperilous situation. This is not a goblin, so it's not like, oh yeah, we'll just say that he didn't hit you with a stone knife or something. So what I'm going to do, I, being the one who made the misreading here for this creature, otherwise the mechanics were delivered from the monster as it exists, though there was a methodology for the save that was beyond what I had been floating in my mind for what could alleviate. So what I'm going to do is 2 things. One, I'm going to apologize to my players because it was my misunderstanding about the monster. These things are definitely not supposed to be rollovers. And these things are also, given the history and the story, plot monsters. Like, this isn't a random encounter of, whatever, a flying snake that goes, it comes out of a tree and, I rolled it on a chart. That being said, I
think we were all expecting it to be a stiff fight.
That being
I don't
said,
think that's...
because we had continued under my circumstance of misruling regarding the saves or what could allow for the end of the effect, I am going to simply, the jungle exploration segment, I'm going to end. Bright, you had a horrible vision, and so I am going to enact a retcon. Now, don't all clamor at once for me not to. I am going to enact this. Bright, you saw, when this thing was eating this squirrel, a very horrible turn of events. And what you saw was that Casimir and Mordecai, after, I'll let you process this mechanically, Once they hit 0 wisdom, they both turned into these creatures. And then they slunk off into the jungle to find more people. Thereby, Bright, you are getting clues, perhaps as to the ecology and the threat that these things pose. Also, especially because it would seem that not every gnome has access to magical girl bones in order to affect these things. And by coming into contact with them, that seems to be enough to spread this amorphous thing. If you're saying anything, I didn't hear you. You were muted.
I'm just kind of nodding,
Okay.
nodding and smiling. I'm accepting what you're telling us.
Okay. So, should you encounter
I'm just
these
gonna,
in the... Oh.
I'm just gonna relay the vision to Mordecai and Casimir and say we should go back to town now.
Should you encounter these in the future, they will be run with the provision for the saves beyond the other thing that I was looking for.
And also, Mordecai wouldn't go into that fight knowing he's hampered. He would not do that.
On the original thing, the questions were, is it like the tree? You were there for the tree. I was answering those, you know.
Mordecai would know about the tree. He wouldn't go in basically kicking himself in the balls.
I answered the questions that were offered to me, and that is up to you if you wanted to engage or disengage. That being said,
Just upset.
I understand. Beyond describing the monster and related questions onto past mechanics that have been explored, it's up to you all. I can't tell you to fight or not to fight something, because you're going to do it as you will. Now, my mistake was the line that gave the alternative to the saves, which was a save at the end, and not for something else. Which, Bright, that is information that you did not get to see in your vision. So, there could be an alternative as well, which is also why I was looking for what are you all doing. However, because this was my mistake as the DM, I will take responsibility. And Coffee, you are perfectly fine if you're upset with me on this. I understand. I am not upset back, or I'm not going to get all defensive and say, "Whoa, come on." But what I will do, you have the information, you have the vision, a level, a tone or a level of seriousness for what could be to come has been set, and heeding Bright's words, her knowledge about the things that she's seen, because you do believe in her prognostications. We are going to rewind and go back to you stumbled across this thing. You stealthily rolled up on it. It was eating like a giant squirrel. And Bright, whatever, I don't know, for Casimir and Mordecai, maybe she kind of, the vapors got to her. And her eyes fluttered a little bit. And when they finally kind of rolled back into place, she shared with you the things that she had seen, and you can make a retreat without. Having this thing be aware, as that was, you rolled stealth to roll up, and if you're not going to lay into it, then you can sneak back away after having at least seen one of these things close enough to port to be at least a day's travel in some direction. Of course, with Casimir here, then he could tell you more accurately.
Casimir, you could take us back to town, and I think Mordecai and I both having seen this creature, will be more prepared next time. But let's just slink back to town now that I know you didn't see what I saw, but you both, well, I'll tell you later, but you could have died. So let's go back to town real quick and just get ready for the next time. At least we've seen it. We know how it works, and I know a little more about how it's able to eat so many gnomes. So that's good. Let's get out of here. Is that okay? Okay.
Sure thing. Sure thing, little one.
Okay.
Lost accent.
Okay. Then this happens. The professor is here. He has a shiny new metal rod. You're welcome to show that off if you want, Professor. However, information can very well be shared aboard the ship, and the town can be warned that one of these was spotted that away. That away is a lot more specific. Casimir can fill in the details there.
I'm personally gonna take a break.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, this is a good break time. This is a good
Yeah,
break
I
time.
did break time.
Okay. All right,
Move
then. Let's get up, do what we got to do, and everyone hold on, and I'll let you know what's happening.